Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, I'm going to review a television show. This time, I'm going to review the 1976 to 1983 television series Quincy, starring Jack Klugman. Of course, this series is a follow-up to, or should I say, Jack Klugman's first TV role since he starred on The Odd Couple television series, which I think it just ended like a year before. Or that year, because it lasted like 5 seasons and it just recently ended, and so he got offered this other job and to play Quincy. Now, in case you don't know what Quincy or is it actually the actual title of the show is Quincy M.E. M.E. is short for medical examiner, and so this was really the first show with the forensics and on a television show. Because before then, we did have police dramas before then, and even during this time. But sorry, my sinuses. But then shows like Anna 12 and Policewoman. And then, of course, later on in the 80s, you had shows like Hunter, T.J. Hooker. And then, of course, for the 90s too. Now, you have shows like Law and Order, you have CSI, and all these other shows. Even Quincy Jones. Which, if you've seen my Quincy Jones review, it made reference to this show, Quincy Jones, because those are really the two shows really that follows a medical examiner solving crimes. There's only two shows that in television history that's actually done that premise. But Quincy was the original show that did that, and it was nice when Quincy Jones was on the air. And they did like a little tribute to Quincy because they had those comparisons to Quincy. They brought in Jack Klugman to do one episode of Quincy Jones, and I thought it was a great. Even though they never called Jack Klugman's character Quincy on Quincy Jones, it would have been great if they actually did call him Quincy, and give like a little tribute to him, saying he was dying of cancer, which Jack Klugman was at the time he did Quincy Jones. On that one episode of Quincy Jones, he was dying of throat cancer, which he eventually did die of. Unfortunately, it was a great. He would have been 100 years old this year if he had lived. He was a great. Jack Klugman was a really great actor. He could do comedy, The Odd Couple, dramas like 12 Angry Men. I know, rounding off his resume, but. I also did some episodes of the original Twilight Zone show. I thought it was really, really great. Really great actor. He has a great voice, distinctive voice. He could do sticking to people better than anybody on a television show. But this show did last about 8 years, which is even longer than Quincy Jones was. Quincy Jones only lasted like 6 years on television. Quincy lasted 2 years longer, and it was a great show because he always tried to solve what someone died of, or someone died of cancer or suicide or this, and trying to figure out who actually did do the murder. He actually does do that, and just about every case he ever got his hands on was a murder case. There was very few times where he actually said it was a suicide. Even though technically it was supposed to be a suicide, it's not a suicide, it's murder. It's always murder on that show. But there was some episodes, especially towards the end of the series, where he didn't even. He saw maybe Quincy on for 5 minutes in an episode, and the rest was something else. Like the last episode was at the hospital, doctors in the hospital, and got a program stored, and then you see Quincy on for 5 minutes to do the autopsy, and it tells the doctor what happened and stuff, and then the rest of the episode was with the doctors and stuff. It was kind of, I really didn't like that because Jack Klugman's the star of the show, should be on for most of the episode and all of it, and that's what they did for the last episode of the series, and it was disappointing. But as the show itself, I thought it was a great show. It really was. Even though it's over 40, I think it's 46-year-old show now, I feel that show still holds up today. Not like Quincy Jones, which is a little more recent. also still holds up because it's the same. Both shows have the same premise, but on Quincy Joy had more of a bigger cast than you had on Quincy. Because in Quincy you only had about 5 regular characters on the show. You had Quincy, you had Quincy's helper Sam, assistant Sam. You had the 2 police officers. You had Danny. Well, actually, technically, you had 6 characters. You also had Quincy's boss, like the Ashley. He just has those 6 characters, and you see them just about every episode. Because they have very little cast. For a show that lasted as long as Quincy did, you had practically no cast changes. Except for maybe the last season, where towards about 3/4 of the way through the last season, when Quincy actually does get married. Because early in the series, you see that his wife died. And then like a flashback episode. So he remained a bachelor since his wife died, and he marries another woman during the 8th season, and they stay married for that. I think that's 4 or 5 episodes of the series they were married, but that's it. That's it. I also should mention the fact that Diana Muldaur, who was more famously starred on Star Trek and L.A. Law, she starred in a couple of episodes of Quincy as well, and she played Quincy's girlfriend for about like 3 seconds. At least it felt that way. But she was also a very good character. She played a very good character in the show as well. But Quincy is definitely one of the better shows. I still watch that show today. I mean, I DVR like the whole series, and I watched every episode over again, and it was great because you know how many times you actually watched Quincy on reruns over the years, and for like 30 years you haven't seen an episode of Quincy in about like 30 years, and to see it on again is really great because I think Cozy TV just brought that show back on. And it was great to rewatch that show. And I'm going a little bit long with this video because there's not much to say about Quincy. But if you're a Jack Klugman fan, you gotta watch Quincy. Especially since this show started about sometime after the original Odd Couple show did. So that's my review of the TV show Quincy. Please click on the video, please rate it. Please subscribe to my channel. Please forward this video on your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews on my YouTube channel at RallyC.com. So WDY.C.com. The whole page around reviewer Christy Moore, and please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.